Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Introducing Sanu Gold to you. We're an exploration company in Guinea, in West Africa. We're located in the Siguiri Basin, which is quite an emerging new exploration destination, although it has a long track record of gold production by some of the bigger mining companies. I'll leave the disclaimer to read at your own leisure. So we have 3 properties in Guinea, in the Siguiri Basin, adding up to 280 square kilometers. And we're focusing currently on our flagship property, Babai, where we had some good drilling success last year. And we have quite a tight team, but with a lot of West African exploration, development, and operating experience. Last year, we drilled the first round of holes at our Babai property, and we got a very encouraging hit up to 15 meters of 11 grams, including a high-grade interval of 41 at around over 4 meters. Yeah, and previous to that, we did some drilling on our Diana property as well, but we won't talk about it this year. We had some very good results there as well, but Babai is the current focus. And you can see in the, a summary here of our share structure. We recently raised 3.45 million in October to basically embark on a round of geophysics and drilling. We've been working on the ground again since October last year. And as a result, we've increased our total fully diluted share count to 150 million. We're listed on the CSE. Our institutions are Scotia, Global Asset Management, US Global, as well as Lowell Resource Fund out of Australia. Big investors into Predictive, Palos, and Commodity Capital. There's quite a tight holding of insiders and founders. And then our retail component has increased to around 15%. Guinea, just a very brief introduction. It's one of the top 20 global gold producers. Mining is a significant part of the economy and a very big part of its export. It has been the number 2 bauxite miner and exporter for many years now. And in the gold space, it's in the top 20. There is some diamond production in the past, but the big news story is obviously iron ore. There's a big investment going in by a Rio Tinto-led consortium that has committed 15 billion since early last year. And they're actually moving very fast. The new port is well underway. The railway line is cleared almost all the way, and there's some tunneling going on. So there's very big, serious investment going in by some very big international companies. So I think that's a good outlook for the mining industry in Guinea in general. And certainly we found it very good and friendly to operate in Guinea. One thing I like about West Africa and Guinea in particular, we have our exploration permits, and the actual red tape to get to drilling is very minimal. It's very important for a junior mining company not to be delayed for 6 to 12 months waiting for drilling permits. So in our neighborhood, so you can see our properties there, Diana, Digifara, and Babai. Diana and Digifara area are actually very close to the recently upgraded main road, the highway there that runs from the border with Mali all the way down to Conakry. We can do that now in 8 hours, so it's a very good road. Excuse me. And very good access to these 2 properties, and then Babai further on the western margin of the basin. We're actually in a similar position to the recent discovery by Predictive, which is now at 5.4 million ounces, which is also located tectonically on the margin of the basin in the west. The other neighbors are Anglo Gold at Siguiri and the Lefa mine operated by Nord Gold. Both of those operations have been going since the mid-90s without interruption. New mines that have come on stream, 2021, Managem put the Trike deposit into production. And recently, last year, Hummingbird put Carusa into production, and Robex is working on reopening Guinea. And I believe the Bunkan deposit is probably going to move in that direction very soon as well. Our focus is the Babai project on the western margin of the basin. We've delineated a very big system of gold trends there from surface sampling over the last couple of years. And there's a very interesting structural setup. We have this very strong east-west trending shear structure dipping to the south. Along that, we have a number of artisanal workings that give us exposure, a window of exposure into the bedrock. We can clearly see the structures there. And we did a first round of drilling there early last year, which gave us the 15 meters of 11 grams, including the very high grade 41 over 4 meters. And down dip of that, we had 12 meters of 2. And also a high-grade component on the contact with the hanging wall. So we are right now busy with a fairly detailed IP survey and the ground map, and that will serve to delineate much better the trends that we want to follow up in March with our up to 10,000 meter follow-up drilling program. So the focus is really the northern part of the permit for this year and following up on these high-grade hits from last year. Just pointing to the key targets, the big results from last year were from target 2. And you can see the section there on the right-hand side. It's looking to the west. Basically, 2 short sections drilled across the target 2 there. And you can see how the intersections hold together to depth down to about 70 meters vertical. The geological setup is actually somewhat similar to what is reported from Bunker also, in that it's a sheared felsic in contact with a sheared mafic. And then we have disseminated sulfides, pyrite, arsenopyrite right through the felsic unit, so it's quite well mineralized. And hanging together like this very well on 2 sections. The 2 sections really only test down to 70 meters and really only a 50-meter segment of what is now a 2-kilometer trend that we can see very well in the detailed surface geochemistry. And more recently, we've had some data back from the IP. You can see so the chargeability is lighting up the mineralization that we intersected last year very well in a very well-defined trend, and coincident with that we have a nice resistivity response. So it's very characteristic with what we're seeing from other discoveries in the region. So that'll give us a very nice focus to very well target our drilling follow-up, which will start in March. And then as we move over to targets 3 and 7, we can see that the trend heads in that direction, and we'll soon have an update on the geophysics. The geophysics limits are outlined by the orange line there, and we'll be coming back to that one as well. We had some good hits there last year as well, but we believe we drilled that a little bit shallow. We'll need to step back and drill it a little bit deeper to get into the higher grade. This is an image, basically the target 2, showing the chargeability and where we had the results last year. And you can see the geochem responses on the top of that. Some fairly high-grade termite mount gold responses lining up nicely with the chargeability high. And open in both directions. On that image down here, you can see about 800 meters of strike length, but the survey continues, and we believe the anomaly will continue as well. Contrasting that on the other side there, we have the response from Predictive Discoveries Bunker project, also showing the chargeability, and superimposed on that, on the black outline, is their auger gold contours. So it's highlighting an area of interest in the same data sets on both projects. And what we're lacking here, of course, is a lot of drilling follow-up, which we're starting in March this year. So yeah, we're fully funded to drill up to 10,000 meters and complete our geophysics on the ground there. The first round of drilling, which was the first round of drilling on that project ever, delivered a very nice high-grade result. And we'll be fine-tuning how we follow that up with the geophysics that's in progress, and we expect to get similar and even better results all through March, April, May and June. Very briefly about the team. Myself, I have a geology background. I've been working in West African gold since 2007, initially in Senegal, then in Burkina Faso, Ivory Coast, and recently in Guinea. We have a largely West African team on the ground, made up of mostly Guineans and some expertise from neighboring countries, Senegal and Mali. Our corporate structure is very small. We have a very small shared space in Vancouver with a CFO and another board of directors. And then a relatively small board, 2 founders on the board, Fatu, and a non-executive independent, Gail and McNamara. And we're looking forward to lots of interesting results over the coming months. It's a great space for making tier 1 discoveries. There's a proven road from discovery to development into production in country for the last 3 or 4 decades at least, and lots of new foreign investment going in. Our results from the drilling have been very good, and the IP should help us a lot focus the limited drilling we have available. Lots of insider ownership in the company structure, and yeah, hopefully a more positive market this year than last year. Thank you.